Does diet impact inflammation?
And if so, what diet are we supposed to be on? So that's a huge question. It is tons and tons of debate, but when you look at the research on it, it's kind of, I think they're kind of getting there as far as the things that we should be doing for most people. Everybody is different. You guys are all individuals. Some people have food sensitivities or allergies to certain things. So what we're going to be talking about this is just generally for the population at mass, what is the best diet for them? And if you have been monkeying with your diet at all, maybe this might be some good places for you to start and see how it affects your body. And then what would you measure to know if you are dropping your inflammation levels? Thank you. Yes, perfect. Okay. I got into this because I kept hearing about this inflammatory index of food, this magical list of what foods were inflammatory and what foods were not inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. And I kept trying to find it. Like, where is this index? I thought it would just be like this list, like here like a chart, like here are they, listed in the order of how inflammatory they are. And I guess I didn't really understand until I looked up the actual research. So it was a group of scientists that basically compiled well over 900 different clinical trials, epidemiological studies, and they put it into this index where you can basically enter a component of food like fiber or saturated fat. You can enter the food itself, or you can enter an entire dietary eating pattern, like you could enter in the Mediterranean diet, and then it will spit out either a positive number, meaning that it's inflammatory, or a negative number, meaning that it's anti-inflammatory. So it's a little bit more complicated than just a list. I think once I understood that, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You'd really want to look at it as a whole, because maybe some of the inflammatory things you're eating are being canceled out by some of the anti-inflammatory things you're eating. So it actually seemed to be a pretty good system. And then in 2014, they revised it to include more research all the way up to 2010. Okay, so the authors of the study said this, and I completely agree with it. Food, which we introduce into our bodies, most of us, multiple times a day, may be the primary driver of chronic inflammation and the diseases that it causes, because we're shoving it down there all the time, right? So are these guys right? Are these inflammatory index guys right? That's the question.